Hey guys! So I actually have a new background for the next couple of videos I'll be uploading because I'm in Calgary for the holidays. And I just got here last week, and 2 days after I arrived there was a crazy snowstorm and 100 flights from the Calgary airport got cancelled. So I'm just super glad I got in before all that craziness happened. But there's a lot of snow outside and it's really cold, really cold, like negative 30 degrees. It feels like negative 40 degrees. It's crazy, but it's super Christmassy feeling. I'm definitely in winter wonderland. So I wanted to do another Christmas themed cutout t-shirt, but I couldn't think of anything. But on my last video, Miranda Thorpe suggested to do a snowflake cutout t-shirt. So I thought that was a great idea. So thank you, Miranda, for the suggestion. And I created this Snowflake template for you guys to download and print out to follow along, so I can cut out some snowflake shapes onto your t-shirt. I picked to do this one on the back of my t-shirt, just like this. So there's my snowflake, and I added a pink tank top underneath, so it kind of adds a pop of color. And I'm also going to be showing you guys how to do a side scrunch on a t-shirt. So this was a large size t-shirt, and I was able to take in the size, so it's really fitted. And I cut off the sleeves, and it kind of has like this baby cap sleeve now. Super cute. So I will show you guys how to do this. One side, two options. One side is all tasseled, and then the other side I cut off the tassels to have just knots. So there are your two options. Okay, so for the first step, I put the t-shirt on, and we're going to need to measure how deep we need to make the cuts on the side. So this is a size large t-shirt, so it's quite baggy on me, so I want to be able to bring it in. And I'm using little clothespins that will help me mark the spot I want. So I'm going to take a pin, grasp on both sides so it's even how tight I want the shirt. So about right here, so I'm going to stick the pin here and at my waist. So we're going to need to pin 3 spots. So one's at the waist, one is at the bust, and the last pin goes right at the bottom of the shirt by your hips. So just measure how much tighter you want it to be, and that's the spot we're going to cut until. So there are my 3 spots, 1, 2, and 3. So I just did one side because I'll just do it symmetrical on both. And now we can start cutting. Now we're going to start cutting tabs 1/2 inch wide up the side of the shirt. Use a ruler to guide a straight line from one pin to the next. When you get to the sleeve, cut it off and continue cutting a few more tabs to make a smaller armhole. Then you need to cut all the loops in half so they separate into a top and bottom tab so we can tie these together. After I finished cutting one side, I measured how deep I made the cuts. So I did 4 inches at my waist, 2.5 inches at my hips, and 3 inches at my bust. So I copied these measurements for the other side of the t-shirt to cut the exact same depth. And again, I cut off the sleeve and cut the loops in half after I was finished. So now, both halves of your shirt actually come apart, and you just have it connected like this. So now we need to put the shirt together by tying the tabs. You'll want to lightly double knot each tab along the side of the shirts because you want to be very careful that you're using the right corresponding tabs and that you don't skip over a tab accidentally and make it uneven. If this happens, you'll have to untie the knots and redo them until you find the missing tab. These are the last 2 tabs I need to tie together. But right in front of these ties is a corner piece that goes up into the sleeve. So I'm just going to take off this corner piece and just smooth it into a straight line so that the sleeve looks good after this tab will be tied. So here's what the knots turn out to look like once you're done tying them. It's extremely fitted now, as you can see. And it kind of scrunches up the sides, and it has these little tassels. If you didn't double knot them, they might start popping undone. But the next step is now that you're confirmed that the sizing is good, everything fits well, you like the sleeves, it's kind of like a baby calf sleeve now. now that everything's good, you can do a really tight double knot just to secure everything and then snip off the ends. So that's what I'm going to do now.
My t-shirt actually came out tighter than I expected. I should have added 1 inch to my measurements when I was first trying on the t-shirt and pinning the spots. Once you tie the knots tightly, it will scrunch the t-shirt together, so I should have been more careful when I was cutting up the tabs.
So here's what one side done looks like. All the knots were double knotted and tied really tight. And this is the side that I didn't do. I'm just gonna leave it as tassels. So if any of you guys are really concerned about how long this shirt will last, how many times you can wash it, and worried about the knot becoming undone, it's true. If you do wash it a lot or you take it on and off and it's really tight all the time and you're always pulling at it, the knots could become undone, and then it's really hard to actually double knot it again because you've cut off the end, so it's become a really short strip. In that case, you might want to look into sewing them together. But this is really great if it's just like a temporary, a one-day volunteer oversized t-shirt that you want to resize, or it's just a fun activity just for whatever. Then it's fine, you know, whatever. This looks really cute and you can do little knots. But if you are concerned about it, I would say just leave it as tassels because this look is really cute as well. And if the tie ever comes undone, then you can just tie it back together because the tie is still there. So there are your 2 options. So now let's try adding some snowflake cutouts to the back of the t-shirt. I drew these little template cutouts for you guys. The link is in the description box and you can download this image from my blog and you can just print it out on regular paper. And what you're going to want to do is see how these 2 snowflakes line up like this. You're going to want to fold it in half because the snowflakes are perfectly symmetrical down this line. And that'll make cutting out the shape easier. So here we have like this half and this half. Folded it like this. So I'm going to take off the shirt and we can start cutting these shapes off on the back of the t-shirt.
I folded the paper template in half because I'm folding the fabric I'm about to cut in half as well. So instead of cutting a full circle in the middle, I'm just cutting a half circle. This helps keep things symmetrical and it's easier to cut into the t-shirt. I just use the template as a reference point and cut out the shapes freehand. You can make the snowflake bigger or smaller if you'd like, and you could have 1 big snowflake, 1 small snowflake, or do a few snowflakes on the back. But using the template as a reference only allows you to be more creative if you don't have to copy exactly how I printed it out. But basically just take your time and cut out the shapes by folding the t-shirt fabric in half on the spots where you want to cut. I did this quite a few times. Since I have 8 points, I had to fold the t-shirt in half 4 times to do the 4 different arms.
And here we have it. Here's my snowflake on the back of my t-shirt. It also gives off a native / dreamcatcher vibe, which is cool as well. And it's great paired with a colorful shirt underneath because it adds a pop of color. But since I was freestyling cutting out this t-shirt, you'll notice that I actually did 8 points instead of the 6 on the template. And I didn't do a heart on every single point just because of how it ended up when I was spacing it when I just started cutting freestyle. So I just was creative with it and just went with it. If it didn't fit a heart, I just didn't do it. So no big deal. And yeah, so if you guys create also a winter snowflake t-shirt, I would love to see it, and I'm sure other people would like to see it as well. So I suggest you guys tweet it and Instagram it and tag me at Salina and I'll retweet it and share with everybody else so everybody can see what your creation looks like. So thanks for watching, you guys. Like the video, share with your friends. New t-shirt video next Tuesday. Thanks guys, bye!